So I've already logged in to Canvas and I've clicked on Files, English 6, and we're going to be going to the second 9 weeks to find the lesson Food for Thought. So once you click on the second 9 weeks, you'll come over here and Food for Thought is number 6 on the list. The lessons are in order in which you're going to be teaching them. But before we open up Food for Thought to look at the teacher notes, I wanted to find it on the big picture. I like to reference the big picture to see when in the 9 weeks the lesson will fall and maybe how many days have been allotted to teach it. So if you look over on week 2, there is one full day for Food for Thought and then one more day that we're kind of sharing. We're finishing up point of view before you begin the lesson for Food for Thought. So you're going to get one full class period and part of another to complete the Food for Thought lesson. I'm going to close that. Now I want to find it here and go over our teacher notes. Remember, it's always a good idea to look over teacher notes and read them before you begin the lesson because sometimes you need to make things prior to the lesson and you want to be prepared for that. Of course, there's always suggestions that are very beneficial in the teacher notes, so it's important to read those. Let's look at about this lesson. The inspiration for this informational text lesson comes from the interview session, a Q&A with Avi at the end of True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle, where Avi talks about his research for the book. This informational text lesson allows students to compare 2 types of informational text from 2 different time periods. Personal journal entries and informational passages is what they'll be reading, and they're going to be drafting a conclusion statement based on their reading. So here's your materials and resource list. You're going to need, each student will need the novel, The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle, the provided readings, which you will get later in the module, and then the T-chart with a writing stem, which will also be provided for you. It gives you some assessment options. So if you are in need of formative assessment options, you could use the T-chart and the conclusion statement. If you look here for teacher suggestions, there are 3 activities total, and today we will be going through step-by-step activity 1 and activity 2. So I'm not going to read over that with you because we're going to actually be doing that together. But if you go down to activity 3, we're not going to do activity 3 today just because of the time frame. But I wanted to kind of touch base with you just so you would know what it is so that when you take this back to your classroom, you would feel prepared to teach this activity also to your students. So this will be basically an extension of activities 1 and 2. Once students are comfortable completing activities 1 and 2, they will come to activity 3 and do a little research on their own about jobs that they have not already read about, and then they will complete a new T-chart like they've already done for activity 2. So this is sort of just an extension. As you're completing activities 1 and 2 today, if you are stuck or have questions, just make note of any issues that you may have so that you can discuss those with us at our next meeting or during our office hours, and we can address those together. So this is the teacher notes for Food for Thought.